Self-control is the one skill that decides everything long before talent ever gets a chance to matter. Not luck. Not background. Not opportunity. But the ability to hold yourself steady when your own impulses try to pull you in every direction at once. And most people never notice when they lose it. Because it doesn't break loudly. It breaks quietly. One skipped alarm. One delayed task. One more scroll. One more excuse. One more, I'll start tomorrow. Until tomorrow becomes a lifestyle. And that is exactly where Zoey's story begins. Zoey is a 22-year-old woman living in Portland, United States. On the surface, her life looks normal. She has a small apartment, a part-time job in a marketing agency, friends she laughs with on weekends, and dreams she talks about late at night when everything feels a little more possible. But underneath all of that, something else is happening. A constant internal struggle she doesn't fully understand yet. She calls it laziness. She calls it overthinking. She calls it stress. But the real name is something much deeper. A lack of self-control in the moments that don't feel important. Because Zoey is not failing in big dramatic ways. She is failing in small invisible ones. The kind that don't look dangerous until months have passed and everything feels heavy for no clear reason. Every morning, her alarm rings at 6:30 a.m. And every morning, the same negotiation begins. Her eyes open slightly. She reaches for the phone. Her brain whispers, just a few more minutes. And she agrees. Not once. Not twice. But every day. And those few minutes turn into half an hour. Then an hour. Then a rushed panic where she jumps out of bed, already behind life before the day even begins. She tells herself she will fix it tomorrow. But tomorrow keeps repeating the same story. At work, Zoey is not bad at her job. She is just inconsistent. Some days she is sharp, focused, productive. Other days she drifts through tasks, checking her phone every few minutes, losing track of time, restarting the same task again and again because her attention never stays still long enough to finish anything deeply. Her manager once told her, "You have potential, Zoey. But you need consistency." She smiled and nodded. But inside, she felt something uncomfortable. Because she knew the truth. Consistency is not something she lacks at work. It is something she lacks in herself. And that is harder to fix. At night, her apartment becomes a different world. Quiet. Dim, comfortable. And that is where the real battle begins. She sits on her bed or couch, phone in hand, scrolling endlessly through videos, posts, updates, lives of people she doesn't even know. People traveling. People building businesses. People smiling in ways that feel too perfect to be real. And Zoey watches all of it like she is standing behind a glass wall. Close enough to see it clearly. Far enough to not touch it. Sometimes she whispers to herself, "I should be doing something." But her body stays still. Her thumb keeps scrolling. Her mind keeps delaying. And slowly, the night disappears. Not because she chose something meaningful. But because she lost control in small increments she never noticed. Weeks turn into months. And something begins to change in Zoey. Not externally at first. Internally. She starts feeling heavier without knowing why. Not physically. Emotionally, like she is always slightly behind her own life. Like she is watching herself from a distance, doing things she doesn't fully approve of, but also doesn't stop. And that confusion starts to create something dangerous. Self-doubt. It begins quietly. What is wrong with me? Why can't I just do what I say I will do? Why does everyone else seem more disciplined? But she never finds a real answer. Because she is looking in the wrong place. She thinks it is motivation. She thinks it is discipline. She thinks it is confidence. But the truth is simpler and more uncomfortable. It is self-control in the smallest decisions that shape everything else. One evening, something unusual happens. Zoey is sitting near her window, exhausted after work, phone in hand as usual. She opens her camera by accident. The screen switches. And she sees herself. Not the version she imagines in her mind. Not the version she posts online. Just her. Tired eyes. Messy hair tied without care. Shoulders slightly bent forward. Expression blank. And for the first time in a long time, she doesn't immediately scroll away. She just looks. And something shifts inside her. Not emotional breakdown. Not dramatic realization. Just a quiet awareness. This is me right now. And then another thought follows. If nothing changes, this is me next year too. And the weight of that thought sits in her chest longer than she expects. That night, she doesn't sleep properly. Her mind keeps replaying small moments from her life. All the times she said, later. All the mornings she delayed waking up. All the evenings she gave away without intention. And she realizes something uncomfortable. Her life is not being stolen by big failures. It is being given away in small decisions. The next morning, her alarm rings again. 6:30 a.m. Same sound. Same routine. Her hand reaches for the phone automatically. But something is different. There is a pause. A short one. Almost invisible. But powerful. In that pause, two versions of her exist. One says, sleep. You deserve rest. The other says nothing. But somehow feels stronger. Zoey sits up. Her heart is slightly uncomfortable. Her mind resists. But she stands anyway. That moment does not feel powerful. It feels unnatural. Like stepping into a version of herself she is not used to being. That is how self-control begins. Not with confidence. But with discomfort. The first few days are the hardest. Because every habit she tries to change fights back. Waking up early feels like a war with her own body. Putting the phone away feels like losing something. Focusing on work feels impossible for more than a few minutes at a time. And every time she tries to do something better, her mind offers her a shortcut back to comfort. Just this once. You can start tomorrow properly. You're too tired today. And she almost listens. Almost. But something inside her is slowly changing. Not motivation. Not inspiration. But awareness of consequence. She begins to notice something new. Every time she gives in, she feels worse later. Not immediately. But after. And every time she resists, even slightly, she feels a small sense of control returning. Not happiness. Not excitement. Control. And she starts chasing that instead. Zoey begins small. She doesn't try to become a new person overnight. She starts with waking up 5 minutes earlier. Then 10. Then 15. She makes her bed even when she doesn't feel like it. She drinks water before touching her phone. She walks outside for a few minutes even when she prefers staying inside. None of these actions feel life-changing alone. But together, they begin building something inside her. A pattern of control. At work, she starts noticing something strange. Her focus improves slightly. Not dramatically. But enough to notice. She spends less time distracted. She finishes tasks without restarting them repeatedly. She feels less mentally scattered. And her manager notices too. Zoey, you seem more focused lately. She smiles. But inside, she understands something deeper. Nothing outside her changed. Her job is the same. Her environment is the same. Her responsibilities are the same. The only thing that changed is her ability to control herself in moments where she used to give in. And that is when the real lesson starts forming in her mind. Self-control does not change your life by changing the world. It changes your life by changing your response to the world. But the real test arrives one Friday night. Her friends invite her out. The old version of Zoey would say yes immediately. Even if she was tired. Even if she had goals. Even if she needed rest or focus time. But this time, she pauses. The invitation is simple. Let's go out tonight. And her mind immediately splits again. One side says, you deserve fun. Don't overthink it. The other side asks a question she has never asked before. What do I actually want more right now? This moment, or the life I am trying to build? And for the first time, she chooses differently. She says no. It feels uncomfortable. Not because she is missing out. But because she is breaking a pattern she has repeated for years. That night, she stays home. At first, the silence feels strange. Her phone feels tempting. But she resists. Instead, she opens her laptop. She starts working on something she has been postponing for weeks. Not because she feels like it. But because she decided to. And slowly, something unexpected happens. Peace. Not excitement. Not reward. But a steady sense of alignment. For the first time, her actions are not fighting her goals. They are supporting them. Weeks turn into months. Zoey does not become perfect. She still struggles. She still has days where she slips. She still has moments where she feels tired and tempted. But now, those moments don't define her anymore. Because she knows how to return. Self-control is not about never falling. It is about returning faster every time you do. Her life begins to shift. She becomes more reliable at work. She manages her time better. She saves money instead of impulsively spending. She plans her days instead of reacting to them. And slowly, without dramatic change, her life starts moving in a different direction. One day, she gets promoted. Not because she became the smartest person in the room, but because she became the most consistent. And consistency is just self-control repeated over time. Months later, Zoey stands near her apartment window again. The same city. The same streets. But a completely different version of herself standing there. She thinks about the girl she used to be. The girl who said, tomorrow. The girl who lost hours without noticing. The girl who felt stuck but didn't understand why. And she realizes something powerful. She was never lacking potential. She was lacking control. Because the most powerful skill in life is not talent. It is not intelligence. It is not opportunity. It is self-control. The ability to pause. To choose. To act according to who you want to become instead of who you feel like being in the moment. And in that understanding, Zoey finally sees the truth that changes everything. You do not rise to your goals. You fall to your level of self-control. Every life you see around you is built in the smallest decisions nobody sees. And from that day forward, Zoey stops asking, how do I feel motivated? And starts asking a better question. What would the disciplined version of me do right now? Not tomorrow. Not later. Right now. And that one question becomes the foundation of everything she becomes next. Because self-control is not a trait you are born with. It is a skill you build in silence. In repetition. In resistance. In small choices that seem insignificant, until they become your entire life. And Zoey finally understands the lesson she was always meant to learn. If you can control yourself when no one is watching, when no one is rewarding you, when no one is pushing you, you don't just change your habits. You change your entire future. And that is where her real story begins.